everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that's going to help you become your best self. And today we are talking about things to let go of right now, right now. Before we jump into that, please, I encourage you to come and say hi. Let's make friends. Let's just chit chat in DMs. On my Instagram, I can be found at Sabrina Joy Perozzo. I'd also love to see you on Clubhouse, love to see you in my email. If you just pop down into the show notes here, you can find out where to contact me, and I will talk more about that at the end of the show as well. But let's go ahead and jump right in. Again, today we are talking about things to let go of right now. So we all know life is heavy. It's real heavy. I'm feeling that right now in my real life, just to be 100% transparent with you guys. Life is heavy. It's also overwhelming, burdensome, and just a lot, just a lot. And I know that I'm not the only person going through some of those feelings, going through different feelings that are more or less or in the middle. But we have to find a way to get through those times, and every other time in our life, because we are strong enough to do it. We may not think that we are or believe that we are, but we truly are strong enough to get through all of these things. And I think one of the best ways to do this is by making the conscious decision to let some unnecessary things go. And oh man, this is going to be some real truth for some people. So buckle up, because I think it's going to be helpful though. And when I say you have to make a conscious decision, you really have to make that decision. You got to actually make it, and it has to be real, no faking. Even to just yourself, you need to be dead honest with yourself. And just finally let some stuff go that really isn't helping you grow, thrive, change, and continue moving in the right direction, right? You got to keep it moving. And that's hard to do when you're carrying things that don't matter, just to be real with you. And again, that conscious decision is going to be the game changer for you. You have to realize, okay, yes, I have to actually tell myself, we got to be done with this behavior. We got to let go of these things. We got to move on and realize that continuing to rest on these crutches in our life, these things that aren't really bringing us joy, happiness, peace, any of these things, any sort of contentment or growth, are really actually holding us back. They're not helping us at all, really. So, and before we get into some suggestions I have for what you should let go of, it's important for you to spend some time to really think about why you are continuing to drag this mess around with you. Again, I feel like this episode is going to be like a very good opportunity for you to be really real with yourself. I like to talk about self-awareness and understanding yourself more, really diving into why are you feeling certain things? What outside influences do you think you're allowing to seep into you to contribute to how you're feeling about things and how you're living your life and how your mindset is set up and all of these things. So that's why I bring this up to you. You really need to think about, why am I dragging this mess around? Think about what you think you're gaining from keeping this with you. And honestly, the most frequent answer you will come up with for this question or any other question that is like this is that it's not worth it. It's a waste of energy to drag it around with you, and you aren't benefiting from it. You just really aren't. But, again, going back, if you really actually take the time to think about, why am I continuing to drag around this thing? Why am I letting it, be like a rain cloud over my head? Why am I letting it hold me prisoner? Why am I allowing this to continue to fester in my life and cause problems and issues to keep me from growing? And then figure out what you think it is actually contributing in your life. If you see it in a different lens than other people do, try to see it for what it really is. And then you can make that conscious decision of okay, I really need to move on from this thing. And it's a hard thing to go through. And it's an opportunity for you to grow, and you're not going to necessarily do it right the first time, or you're not going to do it as best as you could. And you might have to come back to it, continuing to take things off of a list of stuff you're going to let go, right? And so I don't expect you to be able to I have suggestions for you, obviously, but I'm not expecting you to be able to go through this list that I'm about to go through and be like, okay, Sabrina, I'm going to cut all of those things out of my life today, right now. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. even in this list, there are definitely things that I haven't even cut out of my life because I'm still working on it. We're all still working on it. So even if you can just attack one thing and take your time with that and then continually, progress forward with more things, then you're on the right track and you're doing what's best for you. So let's chat about some things that I believe we should let go of. I have 7 suggestions for you today, and let's just rock and roll through them. So the first one is a good one. And some of these are serious and other ones aren't, they're all important, I think. The first one is embarrassing moments. Does anyone else go through life continuing to play that tape in your mind of embarrassing moments that you are so embarrassed of that they just plague you? They're like, you have like PTSD from these moments of when you slipped and you fell, or you did this, that, and the other, or maybe you passed gas in front of a bunch of people, maybe you said the wrong thing, or maybe it was a time where you just kind of blew up and you let your emotions get the best of you and you reacted in a way that you regret doing so. Still an embarrassing moment. But yeah, so you got to let go of embarrassing moments. They happen to everyone, and you may not be privy to everyone's embarrassing moments, and people might pretend like they haven't had any, but everyone has had them, whether they're in a comical way or not. And we just got to let those go. Again, everything that has happened to us is an opportunity for us to look back, learn, and grow from that, glean that information and keep it moving. You got to move forward, because if you don't, you will get so wrapped up in the past. It will hold you prisoner. It will hold you back from things in your life. So let go of those embarrassing moments. Everyone has had them. I understand that you might be in a situation where someone else is continually bringing it up, but honestly, they are just projecting their problems onto you because they think it's funny to continue to highlight your mistakes because they're having trouble dealing with their own mistakes, or maybe someone else in their life is doing the same thing that they are doing to you. So they kind of feel justified in doing that to someone else because it's being done to them. But you have to become strong and be like, yep, that happened. Yep, it's something I went through. Yep, and if you just accept it, that it's something that you went through, but it's not something that you're super focused on, or you're feeling like super embarrassed, or like you're overly emotional about, it will tend to die off eventually from other people that are continuing to drag up your old mess. It will die soon. You just gotta not care about it, which I know is one of the hardest things in the world, but it will work. Okay, so the second one is apologies you probably won't get. Ooh, it's tough, right? Because there are so many times where we get upset and then we're expecting someone to give us an apology. Maybe we'll even ask for that apology, but we don't get it, right? And we think we're going to get it, but we're not. We probably won't. And even if we do eventually get it one day, that's the surprise, right? That's the gift. But we should probably just let go of apologies that we won't get, people that have wronged us and they just decided that's what they're going to do and they don't really care about anything going forward. Because if you continue to just latch on to that pain that someone has contributed to you feeling and not let it go and think that you need an apology before you can move on with your life, you're holding yourself prisoner. You really are. So you got to let it go. Understand that you don't need their apology to move forward. It'd be nice. It'd be like, oh, cherry on top of the whole situation, but you don't need it. You don't have to have it. It's fine. You can live your life without it, but it'd be nice. But just move on because you might not get it. Okay, so the third one is competitive feelings. I struggle with this. So this can even be compared to comparing yourself to someone else, especially on social media or in actual real life, like at work or within your friends or some sort of community or volunteer sort of thing, or wherever, even in your family, right? A lot of times we have competitive feelings because we want to one up that person, because we want to have ourselves be in the spotlight. We want someone to acknowledge our wins and our greatness. We want to be the winner because apparently the winner is the one that's important, right? But honestly, we just need to let go of that, because feeling so competitive with the people in our life, whether we know them or not, and the not is obviously the social media thing. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And, maybe you feel like you do if it's in regards to friends and family, but there's still always going to be deep, dark things inside someone that you're not going to know. You're not going to know what they're going through or dealing with. And so you try to be competitive to be better than them. and pushing it to a level of needing it, desiring it so much that it's going to like break that relationship or break your mindset of who you believe you are and your self-worth and your self-esteem. It's just not worth it. You don't need to compete with other people. We can all exist. Even if we're all doing the same thing, we're still going to all be doing it a little differently, and it's all going to be relevant. It's all going to be important, and we're all going to do it great in our own way, which sounds super kumbaya, I know, but it's true. It's actually really true. We just need to understand that we're going to do things our way. Someone else is going to do things their way. We're still important. If you find that you are in a community of people that are making this other person super important because they are quote unquote the winner of things or doing things the best way, just know that they're kind of in the wrong. So unless you're actually running a race where a winner is needing to be declared, that's one thing. But if you're just living life and trying to do your best and people are out there declaring winners and losers, that's honestly a group of people that you don't necessarily want to be involved with, or you need to find a way to have thicker skin if you do have to be involved with those people to make it through that season of life, to hopefully get to the other side and just move on from that kind of behavior and that kind of like mindset and thought, because it's not the way that you should be living your life, just continually trying to compete with the next person, because they're like, regardless of how much time you spend doing something really well, there's always going to be someone that does it better because they spend more time on it, because they have more time to spend on it, or they just create more time to spend on it. And we should be okay with that because, some people are just naturally really good at stuff and they just will be better than you because you have to try a little harder. And we should be okay with that. We should just feel good in what we're doing and not feel like we need to continually compete with each other for attention, because we all deserve attention and love and acknowledgement of what we are doing. And you might have to start doing that for yourself on your own before you get it from people on the outside. But honestly, we should still be doing that for ourselves anyway. Okay, so number 4 is grudges. Grudges, similar to apologies. You can't hold a grudge. You're poisoning yourself. You're holding yourself prisoner. If you are holding grudges against someone because they're not going to apologize, or they did something mean to you, or they hurt your feelings, or they contributed to pain that you experienced, or whatever it is. And if you just continue to hold grudges, they will hold you back in life. They will prevent you from, maybe even healing that relationship or moving on in different relationships, because you're dragging around this baggage of, well, this person did that to me, so I'm afraid this person's going to do the same thing to me. If some of the things are similar, which yes, you can be on your guard, but also you don't need to drag that baggage around for every relationship that you're in and continue to have suspicions that everyone's going to wrong you because you were wronged at some point. And it's just not fair, right? So you can't hold grudges. You should really just let those go. It's really just pain that you're holding on to for funsies, and it's not actually fun. It's a waste of space in your heart and your mind, and you should just let them go, because what is it gaining you? More anger towards that person? Great. They probably don't care. They probably don't care. It's probably not affecting them either. And even if it is, it's the wrong move to do. That's not the right way to do it. You should just be gracious and give them grace and move on. That's what's better for you. Number 5 is opinions and judgments from others. This is definitely one that I struggle with, right? People love to give their opinion, their judgments. I love to give my opinions. However, I have worked really hard to offer opinions in a way where I'm offering it, but first asking if I can give it, or if it is in like a setting that is appropriate for that. Or you're listening to my podcast where I'm giving you my opinion, backed with research. But yeah, but just in general, a lot of times we will hold so fast to what other people say about us, what they say that we're doing wrong, we're doing right, we should work on, we should come better on, or what we'll never be able to do or never be able to accomplish, or anything like that. And honestly, how do they know? It's their opinion. It's not fact. Opinions and judgments, like sometimes, constructive criticism and feedback is helpful, but other times it's just attacking and it's malicious, and it's done in a way to really try to bring you down, or just to, kind of hurt you in a way even in a very like passive aggressive way. But we honestly should just let those things go because again, they're not facts. They're just, hot air from someone else that they've decided. Yes, they might have the power to convince other people to believe those same not facts. But if people are going to be swayed so easily by what someone says and take it as like Bible truth, you don't need them in your life either. I understand that this also can create feelings of loneliness and feeling like you're isolated and like you don't have anyone to reach out to. But that just means that you might need to be in a season of life where you are by yourself so that you can work on yourself, so you can figure out ways for you to have more confidence and stronger self-worth and understand yourself better so that you can go out and find a different crew and community of people to have in your life so that they are more encouraging and positive and help you be able to move forward in your life and find even more people that are like-minded. So I would let go of those opinions and judgments because they don't mean anything. That's just what someone said. I could say anything tomorrow. You could say anything tomorrow, and it doesn't mean it's truth. It doesn't mean it's fact. It doesn't mean anyone's going to believe you, and even if they did, that's on them. And yeah, it's just not facts. It's just not facts. You don't have to accept it. Number 6, what your life used to be. So this can be tough because a lot of times some of our baggage we'll be dragging around is how our life was, and especially if we're currently in a time in our life where things are tough and they're not how we necessarily want them to be. And we all go through ups and downs, that's fine. But sometimes we will linger in the past of like, yeah, I was in this relationship was so great. Or maybe you're in a relationship right now and you're always talking about, the way it used to be. And you're not trying to work on what's happening now. And you're always like, oh, well, you used to do this, that, and the other. And it used to be so great. Or I used to have a job that's great and now I have a job that I hate. Or, I used to have lots of money and now I feel like I'm strapped for cash and I have to work my way back up again. Or, I used to be super healthy and be able to lift like 200-300 pounds. And now I can't do anything. Or I all I can do right now is walk. And all of these things, a lot of times we will focus so wholly on what our lives used to be and pick out all of those good things and be upset that that's not where we are right now, when life just comes in seasons and everything changes and ebbs and flows. And sometimes we're up and sometimes we're down and sometimes we're neutral. And we need to just understand that every season comes with so many things for us to learn and grow from and understand, and continue to have faith that we're going to be pulled into the next season and grow and have opportunities to become better and better and better. And God has our back. But we just get so caught up in what we want to have or what we used to have, when really we should be looking forward to what we can have and what we will have, and how life is just going to continue to get better, and how it's all on our side anyway. We're going to get what we need. So remember that. Okay, so the last one, number 7, is something we should let go of, is expectations for others. Again, something that I used to be really terrible about, and I've gotten so much better actually. Even with the conversation I was having with my husband tonight, I was like, oh man, wow, I really have lowered my expectations for people, because it's easier. It's really easy. It's so much easier to live your life when your expectations for other people are lower, because if they do exceed those expectations and it's like a surprise, it's like positive serendipity, just exciting moment. And I don't think that's being negative. A lot of people are like, oh, that's just being negative. And I'm like, it's not though. It's really not. It's really just being like realistic about what life is. Plus, if you're always pushing high expectations on other people and they never hit it, then you're always going to be disappointed. And it's also super unfair to that person because they don't know that you have these high expectations or expectations in general. And even if you do tell them like, oh, I have an expectation that you do this, that, and the other or whatever. And if they don't decide to accept it, again, that's not something that you can make them or push on them. Nope, that's not something that you can do. You need to just chill and be like, you do you, I'm going to do me, and that is great. So just let go of your expectations of others. It's just really going to drag you down if you don't, and you will not have joy and happiness and fulfillment and contentment by living in a space where all you have is expectations and people are letting you down. It's not helpful. So that's all the tips all the suggestions I have for you, everything I have in regards to, letting things go. I hope this was super helpful. Thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast again with me, Sabrina. I appreciate you listening, downloading, sharing the show. You guys are fantastic. Check the show notes below where you can find me on Instagram, which again is at Sabrina Joy Perozzo, or on Clubhouse at Sabrina J. Perozzo. Or please send me an email with any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topic suggestions, or just to say hey, hi, and hello to me. Send that email to realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. And I hope you guys are having a great, great, great day. I will tell you that, if you like to listen to these episodes in order, just know that the next episodes that come out after this one will be delayed if you do listen to the show like every single day, because I am going to take a break. I'm going to take like a week off and then new episodes will be back. But if you don't listen to it that way, then you won't even notice a difference. So thank you again for listening, downloading, sharing the show. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.